Highlights. Direct hits from the test. While other books may include up-level or irrelevant vocabulary, this guide contains only the words found on the digital SAT and their high-frequency synonyms. In short, it's all killer and no filter. 3 sections to help you build high word power. Section 1. Introduce key prefixes and root that will allow you to decode and understand unfamiliar words more easily. Section 2 presents the top academic words from the test, organized by theme and grouped into synonym, 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 동의어, synonym, clusters, 클러스터 그냥 이거는 to help you strengthen connections and boost recall. Section 3 provides 2 additional lists of words to give you an edge on specific SAT trouble spots. SAT transition to prepare you for the specific words that have appeared on transition questions. Archaic 뭐야 이게? archaic 씨. archaic archaic 샷 고풍스러운 archaic 오 좋은 단어 배웠네. 고풍스러운 archaic. archaic English words. 고풍스러운 영어 단어. 와 죽인다. archaic English words to make classic poetry. classic poetry. 이제 클래식 고전 시. classical poetry. 뭐 클래시콜? classical poetry. 고전시. 고전시. 그렇지. 연기는 고민시, 영어는 고전시. And prose passage is more understandable. Target practice throughout. Each chapter includes a variety of practice exercises designed to reinforce learning and spot long-term retention. The academic words you need for test success and beyond. By studying this guide, you are building a solid academic foundation not only for your SAT, but also for college, your career, and beyond. Start learning these words, and you will start noticing them everywhere in articles, podcasts, lectures, conversations, and more. This newfound knowledge will not only deepen your understanding but also unlock words of new possibilities. Philosophers Ludwig Wittgenstein Wittgenstein captured it best when he observed, the limits of my language are the limits of my world. 존나 멋있다. The limits of 한계. My language are limits of my world. 내 그 언어의 한계가 내 세계의 한계다. 와, 개멋있다. Over the next few pages, I will lay out some specific strategies for how to memorize words so they actually stick. But first, let's clarify what the process of vocabulary building actually entails. 훌륭합니다. 자, learning vocabulary, how it works. A popular misconception is that words are either known or unknown. People tend to envision their vocabulary as a big bag containing all words that know and learning, and they imagine me slowly peeling that back by adding words from a much larger set of list, or the vocabulary that they don't yet know. But this simplistic notion ignores the fact that there are varying degrees of knowing. A more fitting analogies is to liken our relationship with words to our relationship with people. Stranger, acquaintance, French, close French. Or worse, 이 사회적 거리에 따라서 쓰는 단어들이 좀 달라져야 된다는 그런 의미인 것 같네. Or worse, start out as strangers, becoming fully comfortable with the world. Just like with a person, generally takes time and multiple encounters, and can be represented as a gradual shift from left to right on this spectrum. Sometimes the process is swift, just as you can from a strong bond and with someone right away. Other times you may encounter a word a dozen of times and still feel no connection. On average, though research show that it takes about 7 separate encounters before you truly know a word. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Takeaway point 1. Repetition is the key to retention. Repetition. 반복. 되풀이는 retention. 이게 유지. Repetition is the key to retention. 유지하는데 중요한 열쇠. 역시 repetition이 the more exposures you have to a word, the stronger the connection will get. This is a scientific truth first laid out by the German cognitive psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus. Hermann Ebbinghaus 누구지? He studies with memory yearly the forgetting curve, which demonstrates that without repetition most what we learn and forget within just 20 minutes. However, he also discovered that with each review material is retained longer in the brain, and that increasingly longer periods of time could pass before one needs to review again. One powerful strategy that was born from Ebbinghaus' rich research is the concept of spaced repetition, timing one's review of learned material to coincide with these increasingly spaced out instances of forgetting. Essentially, Ebbinghaus showed that there is an optimum time to review learned information, not too soon, not too late, but at the exact point that the material is about to fade from memory. Studying only at these moments prevents one from wasting time reviewing when it's not especially necessary, and also improves retention because of the optimal thing of review. Here's an example of a timing system for short-term spaced repetition. For example, to prepare from a vocabulary quiz and long-term spaced repetition to review the words so they stick for good. Repetition, short-term spaced repetition. 1. 30 minutes. 2. 3 hours. 3. 1 day. 4. 1 week. 5. 1 month. 6. 3 months. 6번 반복하면 3 months까지 가는구나. The exact timing can be adjusted to suit personal preference and progress. The key point is to gradually increase the intervals between repetition to reinforce the learned material and improve long-term retention. And even if you don't take advantage of spaced repetition, one thing should remain clear: short, repeated study sessions are much more effective than a long last-minute one. As cognitive psychologist Uri Leisure once put it, with both wisdom and wit, you can get a good deal from rehearsal if it just has the proper disposal. You would just be an ass to do it, and messy. You remembering would turn out much worse. Takeaway point 2. The quality of information you're memorizing matters. Repetition is invariable, but alone it isn't always enough to make words stick. Sure, it might work in the short term, which is why a late night cramming session might pay off before a test. But every student knows how quickly all the facts fade once the exam is over. In order for information to make it into long-term memory, the material must be meaningful to the brain. This is second key factor that must be taken into account when learning new information, and can be accomplished by making sure the material you're studying is personal and relevant 맞나? relevant 관련 있는 관련된 connected to other information, connected to emotions, visual and vivid, actively 데스밸리 actively 적극적으로 진짜 적극적으로 actively input into the brain. How could these general principles translate into specific high-power strategies from mastering SAT vocabulary? Read on discover more. Read on to discover more. Read on to discover more. 아, 뭐 이렇게 많아. 이렇게 시작도 하기 전에 뭐 지치겠다 이거. 씨. 그래도 어떻게 공부하는지 배워야지. How to make words stick in your brain. Strategy 1. Connect new information to old information. Learn words in context. Learn words in context. Just reading the definition is not an effective way to learn a word. To enhance your long-term retention, you need to study vocabulary within clear, meaningful sentences that provide context. Throughout this guide, you will find such sentences accompanying each word, connecting unfamiliar terms to familiar experience. Be sure to read them to make words truly resonate. Conventional, based on or following accepted rules or standards. All of his clothing was strictly conversational. He never wore anything unusual or unexpected. Conventional. 전통적인. Think of your own examples. Go beyond what's in the book and make or meaningful by connecting them to make own life. For instance, if you're learning the words ubiquitous 뭐야 씨, which means presence everywhere, you might think coffee shop are ubiquitous in my neighborhood. Cell phone are ubiquitous at concerts. McDonald's restaurant are ubiquitous around the world. 3. Draw on your background knowledge of a word and its forms. You might not have heard of a caustic remark, but you may have seen caustic on danger signs, where it refers to a strong acid. From that, you can infer that caustic means harsh and corrosive. Likewise, even if you don't know the word ini, it ignorant, knowing that an itinerary is planned route from a trip might help you figure out 많이 들었는데 figure out 수치 figure out 수치 figure out that itinerant means traveling from place to place. Danger. Caustic acid. 가성산이 뭐야? Caustic acid. 미치겠다. Decayed words by their part, prefix, root, and suffix. Many difficult words contain familiar elements that can help you decipher that meaning. For example, within the word philanthropist, philanthropist, you can see the prefix phil, love, the root anthrop, human, and the suffix ist, person, which you can use to determine that a philanthropist. 어렵다. philanthropist 뭐야? 고생막자. 씨, 미쳐버리겠다. Okay, next. A word of caution, though sometimes word parts can be misleading. For example, be means to, but a Bible is to boost. Therefore, treat this approach as a general guide rather than a strict rule. philanthropist. 어렵다. 자, strategy to engage your sense and emotions. 5. Think visually. Vivid picture have to comment. Cement. 이게 시멘트였어? 미치겠다. 시멘트였어. 견고하게 할 거야. Vivid picture have to cement the word in your mind. 진짜 씨. When reading the word precocious. 조숙한 단어를 배울 거야? Which refers to a child who has developed certain abilities at a very young age. Take a second to form a mental image, such as the one at right. A picture speaks thousands words, and chances are you're more likely to remember a word if it engages your senses. Doing a Google image search is another good way to bring words to life. 진짜 많다. Wow. Okay, let's go. Connect words to emotions. Instead of 나오지. Instead of 게다가 merely Mary? 메리 말고 Mary? 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 아이씨 모르겠다 잠깐만 Mary? Mary? 그죠? 게다가 그저 그냥 단지 instead of 게다가 merely 단지 reading definitions 그냥 읽는 게 in a monotone voice in your head genuinely feel the emotion behind the word when learning the words blatant, flagrant, egregious meanings not noticeably bad. Imagine how you might use these words in real life. That's a blatant lie. That's a flagrant foul. That's an egregious error. 어렵다. Even better, speaking these sentences out loud later rather than just imagine them in your mind. Senses and emotions enhance memory. Use mnemonics 안에 뭐네? 진짜 뭐야 이게 mnemonics라고 뭐 어떻게 찍어? mnemonics 기억술 mnemonics 기억술 Use mnemonics to create personal connections to words. Mnemonics are memory devices that help you learn new information by connecting it to pre-existing knowledges or familiar sensory experiences such as images, sounds, or words. To remember the word amicable, meaning friendly, you might think a friendly person, perhaps on your named Amy. Cross language mnemonics are equally good. Spanish speakers might remember amiable by connecting it to the Spanish word amigo, friend. While these strategies won't work for every word, neither will any other method, such as decoding a word thought its prefix, suffix, or root. The key is to employ various tactics for different words, adapting your approach as necessary. Embrace the bizarre 기괴한
Bazaar.
bizarre Berserk 기계한. 단어 진짜 어렵다. Embrace the berserk 기계한. Often the strangest mnemonic images are the ones that stick the best. For instance, when learning the word lampshade, which describes a house in severe disrepair, imagine a lamp repeatedly charging into a shack until it becomes ramshackle and falls apart. One of my students memorized the word eschew, which means avoid, by connecting it to the sounds of sneeze. Achoo! And imagine they are trying to avoid someone sneezing. This approach may seem a bit silly, but it works, and that's what matters. 지금 이거밖에 안 왔어. Strategy 3. Actively input words into your mind. How to use this book까지는 읽어야지. 이거 시작을 하지. 오케이, 끝까지 가보자. 9. Test yourself. Don't simply read. To truly learn, your brain must be challenged. So regularly quiz yourself by covering up the words. This is known as the testing effect and was noted centuries ago by Francis Bacon in his 1620 work Novum Organum. If you read a piece of text through 20 times, you will not learn it by heart to heart so easily as if you read it 10 times while attempting to recite from time to time and consulting the text when your memory fails. Wise advice from the man who developed the scientific method. Mark up this book. 10. Mark up this book. Visually connect and organize information on your page, just as your brain connects it in your head. Cognitive psychology research shows that interacting with information in multiple ways strengthens memory encoding and retrieval. Take notes in the margin, highlight, stick words, study, check off what you mastered, repetition. 11. Do definitions. It only takes a second or two to draw a little image that will stick your brain. Search as a path that circles around and around for the word circuitous, meaning long and indirect, or persistent. Later dog for the word dogged, mean stubbornly determined. Doodling is just another tool that you won't use every time, but you will keep it on your tool belt and use it when it is needed. 20. From a study group. The benefit of group study to go beyond just having a body there to help gauge your progress. Social learning is active, multisensory, and helps students forge an emotional, personal connection to world. In fact, research shows that understanding and recall improve significantly when students teach new concepts to others. And just one last recommendation. 마지막 추천. Read a lot. Read a lot. It's the most natural way to meet words. To meet them, you will. Just an hour a day of reading translate into familiar words for a year. Familiar words for a year. It's so far more feeling than starting a vocabulary list. Even one as awesome as this one. And true interest is critical for true learning. How to use this book? Robert's Guide uses a technique known as chunking, organizing information into meaningful groups to help you learn and retain more vocabulary. 오케이. 지금 한 명 출근해서 여기까지 하겠습니다. Let's go.